Today's session is to address. This is the first time Chris is looking at the comments. He doesn't know what the comments are. I want us to react to the comments together to address it. And first one you see, really not the best, right? But we're going to address it wholeheartedly because we believe that education is something that we want to empower individuals, right? There's always going to be a lot of naysayers in the market. Breaking news. This time it's not the ABSD news that's hitting the market, but rather our dear brethren over here, Christian O, who recently got featured by AsiaOne. Actually, the whole interview happened, I think, last week, right?
Yes, indeed.
Before it was posted. And I think, do you expect it to be so viral?
Honestly, not really.
Yeah. So just to give you some context, right? 4,700 likes in total. I think it's one of the most viral AsiaOne post ever. 847 comments and 552 shares.
By God's grace.
We only knew that this will happen. This happened, right? Actually, okay, what happened? The whole context of what happened was how, like when the interview happened, right? We did some editing here and there. We wrote some stuff. You send it to AsiaOne. Anyway, shout out to Candice, right? Candice has been amazing, always featuring us. And Candice seems like she's like growing up with us, right?
Yes,
Ever since our first GCB video, all the way, I think there was a writing about me, then there's a GCB video, then slowly I keep following us. And we appreciate your article. No matter whether the comments were good or not good, you cannot control it, so it's fine. Today's session is to address. This is the first time Chris is looking at the comments. He doesn't know what the comments are. I want us to react to the comments together to address it. And first one you see, really not the best, right? But we're going to address it wholeheartedly because we believe that education is something that we want to empower individuals, right? There's always going to be a lot of naysayers in the market. Yes. And there's always going to be people who are going to be there to say, no, it cannot be possible, it's not possible. What we can do best is just be honest, to be truthful, and to share with you what is actually possible and what is not possible. So back to my previous question that I was talking about, right? So what was the whole process like? The interview posted, we were in the studio, and what happened? Remember, you were like...
Oh yes, then she reached out to me and said that I'd like to understand more about background.
It was from our previous video, right?
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
And that's something that I was excited to share because like everything, as I mentioned, we started this channel not because to want to like expand brand and things like that. It's really want to value add to clients along the way.
Yeah.
I believe this story is something that I hope to share to more people so that they know that in Singapore, property investment is still a thing to go. And by having objective advice and moving forward, there's something that there will be long-term rather than just short-term thing.
Yes. And so the whole process, I recall, was like we were in the studio and we were shooting was it a webinar? No, it was another shoot, right? Then Chris was like, oh, the AsiaOne article is live. And then I remember what happened to Chris was like he just saw the article, he scrolled through, he read it, he said, hey, actually I've written quite well. And then after that he just ignored it already. Right. And then the next thing that happened was we were all just like, we took some photos, we reposted it on our socials like what we always do. And then the next thing happened is a lot of clients started flooding, like people started writing, like our ex-clients was like, so proud of you, man, Chris, like, thankful for to be under your guidance in investment, blah, 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 blah. And then, our marketing team was like, hey, you know what? I think we should just address some of the misconceptions inside because there are some comments that, of course, there are going to be good comments and there are going to be bad comments, right? But from what I know, right, every single time when this kind of post go viral, right, it's like the rags to riches story in Singapore. And there's always going to be some naysayers, right? Our objective of today's video is not to shoot down naysayers because we know that they are hurt people and hurt people always hurt people. And there are some people who are just very jaded about life already, right? And, we just want to address this, talk about the comments that you have. We haven't looked through all of them. We're going to go live watching the comments and going to video Chris's reaction, right? So how do you feel about this article written about you? Do you feel that it was like actually well done? Do you think that, it served the purpose of what you wanted to deliver?
Yes, definitely. That's something that I'm very thankful for because of this opportunity. Number one is to really put objective investments in the market rather than because my backstory of how I was hurt by a real estate agent who did not do the best advice for my parents. And that's something that I hope to be out there to really put this story out so that everyone will know that the importance of real estate investment just about like buying a property and just because wanting to get a property but also looking at more real estate investment. And second thing is really to reflect God's glory in this. And that's something that I'm very, very thankful for. That it was already mentioned about the part of divine intervention and how it actually led me towards real estate investment at the end of the day.
And I think even inside, right, there are some people who are saying that, faith equates to money, are you using your faith to profess money? And we will talk about that later on, right? We'll go deep into this whole thing because both of us are believers. We are not perfect. We are work in progress. That's why we're still here. And, we are always humbled every single season of our life, right?
Indeed.
And I remember there was a statement inside that, the reporters were asking, do you want to divulge your net worth? And you said no, right? Because if I can speak for Chris, I know him for 17 years, right? Chris by far will be one of the humblest person I know on earth. And I know that Chris didn't really want this attention, right? He asked me, hey, do you think I should respond to this AsiaOne article? Because he's like, all I want to do is just to inspire people that it's possible. And I encourage him, I say, go for it, right? Because yes, there's going to be backlash. But you know what? If our job allows us to inspire just this many, 5.
Yep.
Now I'm seeing 4,700, right? 5, it's enough. Because we have seen our clients' life being changed.
Yes,
right?
indeed.
So just to encourage you, it's fine, right? It's part of the process. I've gone through a lot of negative things before. Hardware zone, mothership, Instagram, blacklist page, so many. Wow. But it's fine because we just want to be the sound and light in this industry.
Yes,
and if you feel that what we have done is wrong, you feel that, you just feel that, we have hurt you in the past, just want to apologize, right? Because after all, we grew up in this business. I grew up when I was 21 to 27. You started this business at 23.
22.
Actually 22, 22 till 27. So we are still work in progress. We're still millennials, right? And thank you those who have given us grace. Okay, so let's jump straight in right now, okay? Let's take a look at the first comment that's really interesting. Okay, this guy should be investigated by the authority. Did he break or abuse any law? As so many of his properties were bought under different names, but obviously by him. I believe it's IRAS. Can IRAS please investigate? Such story tend to give some the impression that selling property is easy money. There are so many motivated speakers in the property industry that hold such talks. Some are misleading and paint an unrealistic picture. This is why CA is flooded with 3,000 or more taking the RES exam quarterly. So, 3 big questions here. Okay, the first one, this is the most popular, 516 likes. Okay, okay. What we're saying, number 1 is should be investigated by the authority because of taxes, right? IRAS investigate. Yeah, this one. Number 2 will be making the impression that selling property is easy. Yeah. I think the third one is, it's unrealistic, right? Okay, so 2 questions. Taxes, right? And then number 2 is also the impression that selling property is easy, right? So how do you want to talk about this?
Wow, it's a very big topic. Yeah. Taxes wise, every year, our tax is not cheap.
Yeah. It's not low.
It's not low. Yeah. So that's one part that we pay duly. There's something that I really do taxes nicely.
We are assured. No worries. Because we have accountants that takes good care of us. If it's us, maybe we really have to investigate. Because it's not because of willful fraud. It's because so many things to think of, especially when there's business expense, personal expense, right? What about the impression that selling property is easy money?
Wow, this is definitely not the easiest. So remember my first year in industry is really, there's no basic pay, it's 0. Aside from, if you trace back to my Instagram, Donald Roadshow cold call, I started from there and it was very draining. I still remember it's like the first 1 year, no income. So it's only in my second year that I managed to see some fruits and I managed to see some closing. And that's something that a lot of people think that coming in this industry is easy, but I'm very honest over here. It's not the easiest. But the key thing is really having the right heart for clients and improving yourself bit by bit every single day.
So the question here is, what keeps you going if it's not easy?
Wow, I think you, definitely. because really, because he never gave up on me. I think that's something that I think as someone who got me into real estate, I always thank yourself because without that, I think I would really given up right from the start because sales is not something that is natural to me. It takes some time for me to build as who I am today, and also of course to other mentors who I learned from about risk investment that slowly transit who I am today. Yeah,
appreciate the gratitude, but I just want to know what is the key thing that actually keeps you going. I mean, the paper has stated, right? You made $1 million,
Yes.
You can honestly can retire already with the properties you have, right? Based on the margins you have, right? So what keeps you going?
Honestly, is for our clients. One thing that I find that in this industry today, as being a software alliance industry, it's something that keeps me going because in this industry, there are a lot of things that are not objective in terms of investments, in terms of advising clients. I mean, just a few moments ago, we just tell our client, don't buy a property that he really wanted to buy, but we say, please
almost did a bank transfer. And then right before this, we said, please don't. Take action elsewhere, right?
Yep, correct. So there's some things that I find that in this industry, we need more agents of change, agents with a heart to serve, and that's something that I want to. It keeps me going because these are things that we can change in industry, and that itself is worth more than just retirement, enjoying life, but it's always creating value and making sure that this industry change from inside.
So I love that, right? Let me just share a few GNA real estate position to this, right? So making money in this industry is never easy. And that's the reason why when a lot of the real estate agents come to us, they're young, they're inspired by us, which we're so thankful for that. Say, should I be a real estate agent? Actively, we will let them know that it's tough. Realistically, it's tough. It's not easy at all. And we believe wholeheartedly that we are blessed. And that's the reason why we want to try to, as much as we can, to be a blessing to every single one who meets our life, whether is it realtors or whether is it clients. And till now, you will not see a single genuine real estate ad in recruitment because we know how much or how tough it is to do this business. Our team has grown organically through socials, thank God. And number two, we also deliberately told ourselves like, okay, let's not buy like the newest car, the best car, even cars that Chris buy, right? Even though it's like some branded, right? It is undervalued deal one, right? And we deliberately do that because we know, especially as millennials who are inspiring in the business, we have to be that sort of like. So to answer this question, it's not easy. I remembered Chris one whole year with me, even before he passed the license, he was just observing what I'm doing, learning what I'm doing in a particular room. It was like a small room, I think maybe like this size here. Yeah, and then I was like in one corner and he was one corner and he was just watching me doing cold calling, meeting clients, getting rejected, and he'd never give up lah. So I think I'm going to get flamed saying that we don't do things out of money, but we're doing out of calling. So this is the calling that keeps us awake every single day.
Yes, indeed.
We don't know how long we can last, but God's will, and of course your encouragement and support as well. Yeah. Okay, let's go on to the next one. I'm 35 and I have 20 cats. Okay, let's not just this. It's okay. 20 cats is not easy, Yeah.
That's cute. Yeah.
Okay. I'm seeing another one here, which is, I don't believe this young man would engage in any activities that violate regulations, right? As you can see here. Occasionally, journalistic reporting may lead to different interpretations. It is possible that some or perhaps all of his non-residential properties are co-owned with other investors. So firstly, thank you so much, right? For you standing up for us, right? That we don't violate regulations, right? There's nothing inherently wrong with this kind of arrangement, although I'm unsure of the exact number of co-owners involved. I'm aware of individuals who profess to own 20 commercial properties, but only hold a minority stake in each of them. Okay, we are gonna get Chris to answer this later on. I'm gonna share with you this. Yeah, we know of a lot of property owners who say that there are multiple property owners and they are co-owners, right? I think there's nothing wrong with co-owning because co-owning is smart, right? You share resources together, you own together, and blah 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 blah, right? And this is one of the reasons why we started this investment channel. Correct. Because we don't want you all to have the easy way out. We want to journey with you in growing your wealth so that eventually you can be a sole owner of the properties you own. Correct. If you're a co-owner with your wife, I think there's nothing wrong with that. But co-owner with 5 friends, imagine the splitting of profits is going to be very low. Yeah. So Chris, how many properties you have? I forget already. 9, 8.
7 local.
7 local, 1 overseas. Yeah. Out of the 7 local properties, how many of them are co-owned?
None. None of them. So all of them are owned by myself.
Yeah. So of course, we are talking about, let's say, the residential portion, right? There are some that's owned by your family members.
Yes, correct.
Because, you want to buy a home for them.
Yes, correct.
The commercial segment.
It's all owned by myself.
Yes, it's fully owned by Christian O, right? So, I mean, you can easily pull out the caveats and see,
yes,
right?
It's you want to check.
You don't have to, please don't do that. It's a waste of time. But let me just share with you this, right? Okay, I think I share from my perspective easier than share from Chris' perspective. Because Chris, right, is someone, right, if you don't know, right, he stepped out of his comfort zone to do videos, man. He's not someone who likes to be in the limelight. He hates it. Yeah. Right. And it's always like, us encouraging one another to do our best, even though there's always going to be a lot of arrows that shoot. We don't know what to expect next. We saw Goody Feet posted something. But it's fine because we know that every marketing is okay marketing, but of course we just want to be a salt and light, right? So Chris, the reason why he bought 3 properties under the parents' name, right, is because he wanted to give them a shelter. He wanted his father to be able to retire and take on the brunt of the mortgage, to be able for him to stay and live and retire because his dad is not young anymore. And if you understand the propensity of the love of a son to a father, you will rather be inspired that you can work hard in a year to change the lives of a family. Yeah. So sometimes, naysayers and haters will come in and they will say like, I don't care, blah, 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 blah. But I'm just going to tell you one thing. If today, one mentor told me this before.
Yes.
If someone is doing better than you, humility is the thing that makes you be able to do better than them because you need to learn, right? And it's just myself also, like, it's a good reminder for myself, right? Sometimes, right, we are like always like, we feel that we know it all, but it's not true. And because of the perspective of buying a shelter for his family members each, that's why he owns multiple residential properties under the family's name. Commercial wise, which is the main bulk of the portfolio, right? It is also solely owned by Chris. And why will Chris own multiple commercial properties, right? Because at this particular age, young, Chris's investment philosophy is very strict. He said, capital gains, go for that first. But why do you want to then go for passive?
It's mainly to support the family in terms of passive income. That's something I think to retire them, which my mom is happily retired.
Yeah.
I thank God for that. And yeah, my dad also gearing towards that. At least he can enjoy. Last time I still remember he is in school, works out stress, hit KPI. But now I think at least he can be able to say, okay, I guess I don't have to really strive for promotions and everything, and really enjoy his work, which is teaching. That's something I really very thankful for.
Absolutely. So, it's with the sole purpose of retiring the family. He could have easily used the funds that he have to go for capital gains, personal gains, but he didn't, right? And what's the reason why this person can own multiple properties? Later on, we'll see whether any questions that we have here, okay? If he's paying mortgage on those properties, he don't own them. Those properties still belong to the bank. Okay lah, kind of true lah, okay? The bank kind of owns some of the properties, but in the whole world, if you don't leverage from the money that you put in, right, and then you just put full cash, right, which a lot of the older generations do, it may not be the best bang of your buck lah, okay? This is just, I think I can answer that for you, okay?
Thank you. Yeah.
Let me see. Wow, so many. I'm happy for his visionary investments. Thank you, Vincent Fernando. Yeah, you can take a look at this. Yeah, I think it's a bit small for you, right? Because you can't really see the screen.
Yeah.
Okay, I give credit to his hard work, which netted a fat income. Based on this, it is clear that the high income earners can and will push up the property prices if they keep buying like this young man. Government should seriously look into limiting property purchase and impose an even higher tax for those buying beyond the basic housing needs. We need affordable houses to live in. So what do you think about this?
Wow, actually for this question, in fact, the affordable housing is in HDB, which in most cases, I guess is still quite well regulated by government.
Yeah.
So that's something that government is looking at to ensure that, you don't get priced out, which is something I'm very thankful for that.
Yeah.
Then meanwhile, for property investment, it's something that, of course, it may seem rosy on the outside, but it comes in with, you need to safeguard your downside. You need to have enough cash flow.
Yeah.
You need to make sure that you're not over leveraged.
Yeah.
These are things that I always emphasize for all my clients and people out there, that it's not just easy thing to just buy and just, it's really at the same time being very prudent with your finances.
Yes, absolutely. And absolutely spot on the affordability of housing, right? I think the government is already doing their best, right? We just recently, Minister Lawrence Wong just stated now minister have to be property agent also, because we need to explain, right, how we are working towards affordability. He gave a very good talk about how even though property prices are increasing, right, the growth of income is even faster. He said that, right? And that was our whole talk about property bubble, whether it's a bubble, is property prices getting too crazy, okay? Okay, so I think this is going to be the last question we're going to address, right? Because what I'm seeing in the comments is wow, there's a lot of different mixed reactions here and there. But I think it's something that is quite important to our hearts, right? And they said I'm not so sure about this owning of multiple properties. Basically, he's using different names to avoid BSD and using rental yield to offset mortgage payments. Personally, I feel that there's nothing wrong using rental yield to offset mortgage payments. Actually, there's a very smart investment technique. But let's just talk about this, right? The bit I'm most uncomfortable with is mixing faith with economic success. Money is not salvation, although it certainly is for those who wants to break away from the vicious cycle of poverty. So how do you feel about this?
Wow, it's a very big topic. I do agree. Money is not salvation. That's something that a lot of people may fall in the trap of worshipping idol and money. And I don't believe that faith itself is a route to economic success or prosperity. That's something that has always been in my heart. And the thing that I really truly want to point out is that for us, the key thing is how we walk closer to Christ every single day and getting that peace in our heart. That actually tied me through a lot of ups and downs in my life, during the very dark times in life where I didn't even expect sometimes to be where I am today. And for me, it's always walking closer that I'm more concerned about, rather than thinking that, hey, if you're a Christian, you definitely prosper. That which may not be true. Sometimes being a Christian is even tougher in life. You may go through things that are not the most rosiest of things, even poverty, going through economic downturn, that's always equate to success. But I think the thing that I feel very heartfelt is the inner peace that I felt that carry me through, and also the motivation why I'm doing this is not to want to seek people approval or want to seek more wealth and prosperity, but rather because God had convicted me and know that this is something I want to bring out there to people, to let them know, so that people will understand risk investment and not just about buying a property and just speculating and earning, not get rich quick scheme, but rather through financial prudence, which I really emphasize, and also finding the right property through numbers and data that will help people to slowly progress towards this. So that's something that I hope that I won't mix this up. And this is two separate things that in the long term run, I hope that people won't see Christianity as a form of economic success, but rather as a journey to become someone who is more Christ-like, loving, and most importantly, peace at heart.
Yeah. I think the last thing we want to do, because we are very public about the declaration of our faith. Yeah.
Yes.
And I think just let's just have a heart talk in this podcast, right? And I think that, we are someone who are very publicly declarative of our faith, knowing that we are going to get judged and knowing that we are going to go through a lot of judgments from everyone, because, sometimes we fall short of humans' expectations, right? And we do, right? Yes, because we are humans. But to think about it, it's easy not to include faith in the picture and to claim credit for everything that Chris has done. But I think Chris wanted to really deliver that into the picture because he knew that that was actually ultimately what matters, right? Absolutely right? Whoever wrote that, money is not salvation. Money didn't bring salvation. Yep. And actually sometimes being a believer is even tougher, right? Yep. Because we have to stand firm on some values that, there could have been an easy way out to do or to earn money from the business as well, right? So how do you feel? I mean, after this article is out,
wow, honestly, mixed feelings. Honestly, I didn't expect it to blow up like that great, honestly. But I just wanted to, in the small things, anything that I do, that this message will be brought across to more people to inspire them. And at the same time, to let them know that in this whole entire topic of it, it's not about like gaining wealth that's important, but rather it's about important financial prudency, and also finding the right data source to get the right investment advice so that we can be able to transit to where we're today.
Absolutely. So I believe that there's still this group of people who are truly inspired by the post. I am inspired by you every single day, and the reason why we did this video was not to defend ourselves, because there's really nothing to defend, right? But rather to just tie up some seed of doubts for people who truly believe in, so that we can address that, right?
Yeah.
The formation of JNA Real Estate or the formation of the JNA Investments team from the get-go, right? In the past, I would say 2-3 years, we founded 6 years, right? We were sorting ourselves together. We don't know what we were standing for. But the past 3 years have been the calling of being objective in investments and operational excellence in selling homes. So,
yes, indeed.
Yeah.
It's always adding value, as I mentioned just now. Keep going forward to be objective in terms of investments. I think this will go a long way because it's just not a 1, 2, 3 days or just another purchase or another sale. Rather, it's really a legacy, a long-term legacy that God imprinted in my heart and our hearts to continuously add value in the long-term run.
Yeah. So if you are enjoying this episode, right, give Chris some encouragement, give him a like, and if you are truly inspired, also give some likes, right, by this entire episode. I think this is a very casual and a very open-hearted kind of conversations that we rarely have online, right?
True.
And I think that I was just talking to Chris. I said, do you want to do this? He's like, yeah, sure, why not? There are some people out there who really want to change their lives, but because of like doubters who come in and then it will affect them. So that's the reason why we do what we do. We don't know what we are going to get from this video, but we're always ready for every single thing that happens in our life. We truly love you guys. We hope that you watching our channel you will be benefiting from our channel. We truly give genuine advice and content, and it's tiring. Right, this was the launch of Singapore's Real Estate Explained just a couple of weeks ago, and we didn't expect things to blow up like what has happened.
Yes,
right,
indeed.
We just hope that you are blessed. Right, yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Okay, bye.
Bye.